What is happening there? Fantasy Football League friends that we haven't come up with a league name for yet. Maybe we can put that to a vote next week. We are your hosts. I'm Graham.
Garrett, nice to meet you. Let's go.
Didn't really know how it was going to go after our drunken shenanigans this past week, posting a video of trying to do this new podcast. And y'all were all about it, which is fucking awesome. I really appreciate that, and I love it, and I'm hoping that we keep this ball rolling. We were supposed to have a... Alright, so it got a little confusing. It wasn't going to be a live stream from the fair, but I did want to have like a sneak peek from the fair, but, you know, Garrett was, I don't know, like doing his homework at his house or something. I don't know what he was doing. But y'all didn't miss anything at the fair tonight. It rained a lot. We got there just in time to see Villanova stopping the concert after 30 minutes in because of the rain. But I got to eat some of Bobby Berry's French fries. Got to have some bullshit popcorn while watching the circus show, which was actually pretty cool. And yeah, like it was raining so much that we were just like, you know what, we're ready to just have another beer and go back to Wogs, and here we are. So we would do this outside again, but it's still kind of raining off and on, and figured y'all want to see our like attractive faces in a little bit more light. So
yeah, last week was pretty interesting, going on to the games from our matchups last week and everything. There was a lot of good games.
Week 5.
Yeah.
So we're on week 6 now, guys. We're getting into the nitty gritty, right in the middle of the year.
Halfway done.
We did our pick'ems last week, and us geniuses went 3-4. Both of us went 3-4. Yeah, not great.
No, not great at all. And I want to be the first to apologize to Shoei, because that was really bad. I know you don't watch football, but don't listen to us either. Just do your thing.
If we could play back the tape, we went really hard into saying that as long as Shoei starts Trevor Lawrence and Dobbs, he'll win. Like Shoei just needs to like start paying attention to his lineup, start these guys that we're telling you, and he'll win.
Yeah.
Looked at it earlier. He started Trevor Lawrence. He got 3.9. Kyler Murray was on his bench, got 13, and Shoei lost by 9. And so Dobbs though got 4.4. Something. Shoei's got a good team. He just I'm sorry that we fucked you over like that.
Yeah, my bad.
To be fair, who was he playing? Greg?
Yeah.
There was a moment in last week's video that I said that Greg would put a voodoo spell on him, and
that was the voodoo.
So Greg is a new witch of this league. So if you play against cranial vatulence, just be careful because they look like they're shit, but maybe they have some kind of witchery up their sleeve. So
this is the new hocus pocus right here.
My proud moment of the week, although it was my down moment of the week, was that I nailed the fact that whenever Garrett was like, yeah, Graham, you're the best team, Jerry's the worst team. It's like, Jerry's going to beat me. Jerry's could be a playoff team, and you just signed his fate that he's going to beat me. I talked enough shit about Sherry's Berries and all this other stuff last week, and I knew I was going to lose. And what happens? Taysom Hill goes for 37 as a tight end, which, you know what, fuck it. ESPN makes the rules. Taysom Hill had done shit all year. Of course, Greg had my back in the group chat, it's not fair. But at the same time, dude, it's like that's what ESPN makes those rules. I'm not bitching about it. It is what it is, dude. If they want to line him up at Wildcat and use him in that system, people don't bitch if Deebo Samuel gets rushing touchdowns, you know? If a quarterback gets a receiving touchdown on a crazy play, like people don't bitch about that. Like
That's a fair point.
you get those points based on that. Taysom Hill is one of those players in this league that is a cheat code, and Jerry was smart enough to have him on his team. Now, in the upcoming weeks, if they change him and put him at the quarterback spot, I'm not going to feel bad for Jerry on that either. That's just a rule that I don't have anything to do with. It's up to ESPN to do based on how it's going. So I'll take the L on the chin. Just like in my other league, I took the exact same L because I was playing against Taysom Hill against Raymond. Oh my God, I was down by like 35. And we don't do PPR or any of that bullshit. I was like joking before the game started. I was like, if Taysom Hill can get 4 touchdowns and like 100 yards, I'll win. He got 4 touchdowns and 25 yards. So I was that fucking close. But it made for a fun Monday night. But
Kelsey had a weird stat line too. 7 catches, 25 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
that's what I was saying.
Like, he had half his touchdowns, or like half of his catches were touchdowns, and that's crazy. And only 25 yards. That's absolutely insane.
Remember the Hitman?
Yeah, like
You got called out earlier this week. old Southside Hitman coming for Garrett earlier this week. Garrett apparently, I have checked tape. I hadn't seen it. Apparently said that our dad wasn't going to win another game. And came out to Wog swinging. He's like, "Oh, I'm not going to win another game." Ask JC how he thought about that.
Yeah, JC's I don't know what.
JC's meat is like fucking getting raw right now.
Yeah, it's we're just getting really like overcooked.
Nah, dude, he's like really rare. 67 points.
What do you have last week?
And then,
About the same. I think. Yeah, that's.
so I said that Brady was going to go off. Divorce pay revenge game. And honestly, he threw for like almost 400 yards, but Fournette stole the show. Fournette had like 10 catches and 2 touchdowns. Kelsey, like we just said, like he ended up having 30 points in our league. That's going to be what makes or breaks the Hitman's team. There's that trifecta right there. The Bucks and the Chiefs, just like last year. Going on a JC side, bro. Whenever Holly goes to work, dude, you need to put some time into your shit.
I like the George Pickens thing. I think he's starting to come along now.
Like you're not
He's
even
putting up
you're not
points
even
now,
at
but-
69 level, dude.
Yeah.
You're at 67. It's not even fun. I don't even know what 67 position is. Well, 67.4. You know, that's fine. But you're putting out. Ugh. So here it is. I said last week in our power rankings, the key to JC's team is going to be the Colts.
Yeah.
And both of those guys were on the bench for him last week. Now I get Jonathan Taylor's out. He's hurt.
He should be back this week.
Michael Pittman was on the bench. He had 8.4, which 8.4, that's not shit, right? So,
But it would have got him over 69.
but he also, like, 8.4 was more than his 2 receivers that he started. So,
Yeah, if you put.
I don't know where the help is going to come on this team.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah. I think it's time for him to actually make some evasive moves and do something, because if he keeps going like this, it's not going to finish that. It's not going to
right.
finish good.
He's just going to be a team that ends up beating me.
Yeah.
Like, have his best week against me. And
Looking
I'll
at Jerry's
keep
team, the
going.
JC's team, Jerry's got a better team. Looking on paper, though, JC's got a good team, but
JC doesn't have a good team. JC, calling you out. What kind of shit?
the number 1 pick sucks.
All right, Garrett, let's talk about Your team, because remember you're like the 11th best team, not the last place team. So how did your team do this week?
Uh,
You played Wade and you picked yourself.
kind of. I got lucky because Wade didn't play, or Higgins and Waller shit the bed. But I almost came back and almost made I made it a game. So I wasn't expecting that at all coming into the week. Kind of sucks too that Knox was out, so I had to put in Tunyon and he didn't do shit. But Olave pretty solid, but now he's on Gordo's team. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Davis. I don't know what Davis is gonna do every week. I don't know if he's gonna put up 5 points, 30 points, no points. I have no idea. And I should have started Mostert. I didn't think about. Well, Harris got hurt, so. I mean, if I just put on those two players, it would have been a close game, especially if Higgins and Waller played. It would have been a good game.
So Garrett made a trade tonight. Olave for who got him 13 points this week for who?
Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds, who got 1 point this week, I think. Who is the backup running back on the Dolphins, but as weird and shitty as that trade is, because I think you're talent-wise you're missing out on it. I think it helps you because I think where your problem is that you're going to run this every single week where you don't know who to start. So there's always going to be that guy, a.k.a. Gabe Davis, sitting there on your bench with 31, and you have the guy that you started in that same spot with 9. You know, like that kind of shit's going to happen to you all the time. So if you can lessen, like, the, how do you say, not bench, but like backups or whatever bullshit. Because how often you don't use these guys? They're going to be bye week guys. They're going to be filling guys for injuries or whatever. But whenever it's like they're all the same, and then you're playing like a guessing game and you're judging on projections, which I told you is bullshit, like you're going to get in these spots where you're going to be like, fuck, if I would have started this guy, I would have won by 20. If I would have started this guy, whatever. And then your season ends up ending and whatever. You gotta find your guys and roll with them. Wade, his team he had T. Higgins 0, Darren Waller 0, Dolphins defense -1. 3 of his guys got a combined -1.
And I lost.
And you lost.
Yeah, that's
a problem.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Wade has his guys. Because Shoei had to get rid of Jalen Hurts. We had Jalen Hurts 22, Dalvin Cook stud 25, Monjay Stevenson going up against your starting New England running back. You can't trust New England running backs because they use 3 of them. He got 19. Damon Harris got 1.
Harris also got hurt. I feel like if they shared the carries, I don't know. That's tough to say.
New England running backs scare the shit out of me. I think Wade showed this week why he's always going to be a playoff team and in contention because he wins these like gross, like grimy, like slugfest games.
Yeah. Derek Carr had one of his best games this year, so I was kind of hoping on him, but you know the Raiders always shit the bed. So
I mean, he had 16 points. That's not amazing. I feel like he did better than that too. That's that was a great game though. It's kind of dumb with both teams. They got like really cute and tried to both do like 2-point conversions.
I just don't understand that. Like he played for overtime and that point, just get the extra point.
Well, no, I get like so the Chiefs did it to go up by 9, which basically puts the game away.
Mm-hmm.
Bambi, you're a psycho. We have a new cat. That's crazy. But they don't get it, so it's a 7-point game. So then, like, the Raiders drive down, and they're looking great, and they score, and they're like, oh, no, we're going to go for 2 now, too. It's almost like a one-up thing, like, oh, we don't want to look like the little dick in the situation. Yeah. And they don't get it either. You lose the game. Coaches lose their job for shit like that. And I feel like that's why McDaniels, he's a great offensive coach, but he might not be there too long.
He'll be back in New England by the end of the week.
This was our second best game of the week going into it. I was all about Tank's team. I made a point that the records typically level themselves out. I loved Lamar, and I thought Devontae Adams was going to hold off a Michelle comeback. Devontae Adams went for 27. But the problem is that Hines got his typical 1 point. Need to get him the fuck out of there.
A.J. Brown should.
Lamar only got 13. We're used to him going for 40. And then Michelle's top guys, they did their thing. 31, 28. Amari Cooper got 17, which I don't think you could really count on that much. Patriots defense was the X factor in this game.
I think having A.J. Brown only scoring 4.7, that was a big deal too.
I think Tank's team going forward, the fact that Lockett, if he can be good, Tank's team's going to be great. If Lockett can be good, I think Jacoby Myers is also coming in his own too. I would try to shop Jacoby Myers for a second running back because Hines is going to be a fucking cancer on that team. How the fuck was he projected for 10.5?
Well, he got hurt.
He gets 1 point like every fucking game.
Taylor was hurt.
Oh, so Jonathan Taylor was hurt and he only got 1 fucking point?
But he got a concussion in the first quarter.
Okay.
So.
Well, like.
Yeah, I mean, he still would have lost, though, even if Hines got that because of the Patriots defense.
Yeah.
So I think A.J. Brown was the difference in that game.
Yeah.
If A.J. Brown got at least 10 and Hines got his 10, he would have won.
Well, that's fair.
They just didn't produce.
Also, we were asked by Michelle if she should start Thielen or clear Herbert. I said Herbert. Herbert got 1.1. Adam Thielen got 4.7. So I'm batting 1,000. Just kidding. I'm batting 0 so far this week on giving advice. So y'all should definitely listen to our opinions on this show because we are fucking amazing at it. Also went 0-2 this past week too. And 3-4 in the picks. So we're tied with the picks though. So going forward, dude, we got something going.
You want to do the picks real quick for next week?
Nah, not yet. Okay. We got Gordo and Troika. No, we finish with the picks. We don't start by making the picks. That's not how this works, man. It's the program. We go over last week's games. Then we do our little spiel.
Okay.
And we fuck around. We talk about how Carolina fucking beat Kentucky, which was amazing. And then we go to like our looking forward to next week's picks. So people get confidence. They're like, oh, we picked them, and then it doesn't really work out for them. That's how we're gonna do this. We got Gordo and Troika, which also end up eating my words on this for the whole the records balance themselves out argument.
Yeah.
I think Troika won this pretty handily. Troika had Breece Hall on his bench with 27 and Damian Pierce on his bench with 18. Troika, like, as much as I said his team was very basic and bland, especially with having Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
You know that guy you picked second?
Yeah.
He got 35. If we want to keep count, we're 2 weeks in a row where Eckler's gotten like 10 more points than Diggs. Diggs had a great week. Didn't have 35. I feel like we should take account of that as the weeks go on for the rest of the year. Troika's got 2 stud running backs on his bench. It's 3 stud running backs in his lineup. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you want to find a running back, you think you have a wide receiver where you're not trading, talk to Troika. He's got some studs. Or if you have a quarterback, because he's trotting out Teddy Two Gloves right now, who got him 0 points. And he still won by 21.
Yeah.
So his biggest weakness in his lineup is he doesn't have a quarterback. So if you have a backup quarterback worth the shit, or even a starting quarterback worth the shit, but you think that your backup might be startable, use that for a running back. Bridgewater got him 0 and he won by 21. The fuck?
That's wild. That's pretty crazy. And Tannehill got what on the bench?
9. Mariota got 16.
And he still won, but I mean, it
On the other
could
side,
have been a
I
lot
actually
worse.
had faith in Gordo. Kind of shocked Jeff Wilson as well as he did. He got 20. I mean, he's going against the Panthers, so that's a fucking...
Yeah.
Honestly, bet against the Panthers the rest of the year, by the way. Inspire pools, wherever you're in, because they're a fucking mess. Here's the bright spot for Gordo's team. He's got Kenneth Walker, third. That Michigan State running back's a stud. Rashad Penny's out for the year for Seattle, so he's going to take over all the carries. So he's got another RB1 just waiting to start. So he could put him at flex. He just traded you Edmonds. So instead of you trading for Kenneth Walker, you traded for Chase Edmonds.
He wouldn't give up Walker.
We got 0.1. You got 0.1 though. You're heading in the right direction. So you got that, and now he has Chris Olave. So Gordo's making moves to be in contention
He's got Keenan Allen coming back.
He also keeps trotting out the fucking
Swift
Tyler Conklin at tight end. Though I don't know what to say about that.
He's got Swift coming back, Keenan Allen coming back. I don't know. That's a running back too, is Najee Harris. I feel like he can trade him, especially when Swift comes back and just...
Najee Harris is a stud, but Pittsburgh sucks. So how often are they actually going to run the ball? Whenever they're down by 20 in a heartbeat.
But there's always...
I like Kenny Pickett a lot in college, but...
Oh, God, he sucked.
They look bad.
Yeah, they look really bad. That was not a good debut by Kenny Pickett. And he's on JC's bench.
I think it's quarterbacks that wear gloves. Like Teddy Gloves. Done. Kenny Pickett. Nothing.
Yeah. It's
David Carr. Sucked.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Ben Roethlisberger. Tired.
He's a Hall of Famer, though.
Yeah, I guess he only did one glove sometimes.
Brady does one glove sometimes.
Yeah,
but 2 gloves is not... It's not the secret. Like, Kenny Pickett's a bust. I think he's going to be a bust.
Yeah.
Especially with that offensive line. I mean, maybe if they get the offensive line good for the Steelers, that might be... then you get a good run game with the passing game, maybe. But I feel like it's just a waste on that team.
I saw a video the other day where it's like somebody impersonating Mike Tomlin. It was like, we're not going to talk about what's going on with the organization. We're just it's our family, and Kenny Pickett's our quarterback. And we're going to go on to Baltimore next week. Yeah, he does like the big apples.
He always does that shit.
It's like just skied up or something.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin. Yeah, my dad's a big Steelers fan. He was just like, yeah, this is probably Mike Tomlin's first losing season as head coach, which is pretty amazing, honestly, since he's been there for 30 years, seems like.
Honestly, it's probably the first losing season for Pittsburgh in general for like 20 years. Oh, let's go. Game of the week.
Sort of.
I went off on a fucking rant and said, you know what? Mark's going to be the best, worst 5-0 team ever. And it didn't happen. Jensen continues to prove us wrong. And Mark didn't have a bad week. 110.6 points. Jensen goes for 144.
Yeah, and he had Parker in the lineup. They got absolutely nothing. So he scores 144 and didn't have a wide receiver do nothing. That could have been a whole lot worse.
Oh, he loved it, though, because Njoku, Cleveland's tight end, he's all excited about, got him 11.8. So that was probably the difference. So.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Yeah, and the benches,
Jensen's got Cordero coming back. You try to line up with Allen, Chubb, Cordero, Williams, Debo. Say Michael Thomas gets healthy. Seems gonna be tough.
Yeah. That's
If
crazy.
I told you that the Cowboys were gonna get 25 points on defense against the Rams, would you believe me?
No.
We got 25. I lost $25 on the Rams beating the Cowboys, so that's a cute number that was.
The Rams is another team that's just disappointing this year.
Yeah.
But that's the Super Bowl hangover. And maybe the Bengals are probably having the same shit going on, too. They're not playing how they used to play either, so.
So Kareem Hunt had his little bit of a revenge game against us talking shit about him, but in the grand scheme of things, he got 13, Chubb got 26, so Etienne did better. He had 12 on the bench. The fact that the Jaguars lost to Houston 13-6, like,
Yes.
come on. Jacksonville's turning a corner. Now Lawrence looks worse than he did last year. Like,
Yeah, we were all high on Lawrence
I
last
know,
week.
I
Now
was
it's
all
like,
about it.
What
It
happened?
made us look fucking stupid.
They're like a 2-game win streak. Maybe Jacksonville's back to the playoff team. Nope.
Honestly, the hot take on the Niners defense wasn't too far off. I said Marco won this game in the Niners defense. They got 18 against Carolina. That's pretty
That's a
solid.
good.
But
put
they
up
got
that
outplayed by
consistently.
the Cowboys by 7. I would never guess that.
But his defense is solid. The
You
Niners
say
defense
consistent. I have to drink Tank Soda.
Tank. Horrible rule. And CD Lamb, shit in the bed.
Justin Herbert's been struggling. So, like, Mark's guys just have to.
And Antonio
His studs
Gibson.
need to ball out. Like, Andrews balled out.
He always does though.
I like Andrews.
Lazard did pretty well for a flex. But they lost to the Giants.
I still think-
The Giants.
I still think Mark's seen if DeAndre Hopkins comes back and becomes DeAndre Hopkins, the sky's the limit for Mark's team. He needs like that one more stud.
He needs he probably needs another running back because Antonio Gibson is not the especially with Brian Robinson coming, he's going to get less carries and he's not getting any points and
Right.
so he's going to get less carries with no points. It's going to be bad. So, but maybe he makes that up with Hopkins coming back but that's tough.
Yeah. So, you want to talk about the trades pickups this week?
Yeah.
What do we got?
Well, we all know that tonight just happened with me and Gordo.
Super exciting stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Jensen dropped Garoppolo and picked up Daniel Jones.
Oh, man. So, Olave, who got 14 points last week, Garrett's going to get the running back that got 0.1 points last week. Because he needs a backup running back.
I do, actually. Well, now I need another receiver for next week. But if
Garrett's kind of outsmarting himself
if
right
Mostert doesn't play, then I don't have a running back for that spot. So I'm screwed. Because Harris is hurt. I can't plug in someone that I don't have another running back. So
If we look at the waiver wire,
I have too many.
it's very heavily involved with Gordo, Tank, Greg, your mom,
She picked up Mac Jones.
Jensen, and you. So we got about half the league that's like all over the waiver wire, and half the league that's trying to let it go. Be interesting to see like what kind of strategy pans out. I definitely think the waiver wire is your best friend, but I definitely think you can outsmart yourself sometimes. Some of this kind of stuff.
I'll be better next year.
And as far as we know, Jensen still has his Tesla, and he's still doing Uber and focused on Tesla. So I still do think he's the best team.
Yeah.
As far as right now goes, but time will tell. Stay tuned.
It's not even halfway over yet, so you got a long way to go still. Bye weeks are starting to hit now, and who knows what that's going to look like after everyone hits their bye week and everything's all scrambled around even more.
So we don't do power rankings every week. Because you know how we feel about our teams. Like, Garrett's team's clearly the worst. Like, mine's like up there at the top. I just get unlucky, you know. Jensen's team's good. We want to do different rankings every week, just to keep it interesting. So, we said earlier, we were supposed to be at the fair. You know, I had my Cubbies poncho, thanks, Dad. Was rocking that shit. Out there looking cool as hell. Eating Bobby's French fries and some random teriyaki skewer that wasn't that good. But, you know, was out there rocking it, but it was a little too rainy and stuff to do a little sneak preview. But the idea was this week that we would compare every team to a fair food. We do a rankings based on what team or what fair food best describes your team. Now, because of a lot of things and watching too much YouTube and getting excited about Halloween ends tomorrow, I didn't go as far into depth on my rankings as I should have. But Garrett actually broke it down team by team to do it. So instead of making this the Graham Show, I figured this would be like a really cool segue into a Garrett segment of what he thinks y'all's bullshit teams are as far as the fair food goes. So, having said that, I introduce you. We'll have to call it something. And I wish I had like some kind of like little like, I wish I knew how to do like gadgets
Like
and
a
stuff on
transition.
YouTube. Yeah, where it's like, Garrett's Fair Food Segments. Like something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe one day.
I realized my zipper was down the whole time. Feel excited or something.
I'm glad the camera heard that one. All right, so on to the fair foods. Yeah, great segment, interesting segment. Pretty different. It's kind of hard to actually choose because there's so many foods out in the fair. You just don't know, like.
Football.
Oh my god.
Give me like 10 minutes.
Just so we're clear, that is not what's happening.
Give me like 10 minutes.
Well, if you go in the room, just be quiet.
Just watching the new Hocus Pocus, not my business.
No, that movie's.
Honestly, I like it so far.
That movie's
It's pretty queef.
You're a fucking
Hey,
queen.
the first queef segment.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Alright, let's be quiet. Let's get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so I did my fair food, and I also did my own power rankings, but I base it off the power rankings. Ow. Claw to the shoulder. But, so at 14 I have myself, and my favorite food is just the basic fried dough. Nothing on it. Probably hasn't even left the truck or the shop or the factory or anything. I'm just that fucking bad. 13 I got JC. Pretty classic, simple. Graham said earlier he had shitty popcorn, so I got JC as popcorn. Sometimes it pops, and sometimes you got the kernels that just piss you off every time you bite one. 12 I got Gordo. Gordo I got as a corn dog, just basic and super boring, and maybe when you're 5 it's good, but now it's just shit. Number 11 I got Jerry. Never heard of this food. Chip sticks. So I did a Google search. Basically, they cut up potatoes, fry them like potato chips, and then season them and just put them on like a a stick and you just eat the chips off the stick, which is stupid. But anyway, yeah, that was just kind of, your team's all right. And Taysom Hill makes you look pretty good. But yeah, number 10 I got Shoei. Cheers, dude.
All right, remember, be confident. Like, pronunciate your words. Like, got this.
Okay. Pronunciate.
Fair food.
Be consistent.
Be consistent. Shit, we got to drink.
Now we got to say, we've said it twice. Now we got to drink twice. Cheers.
Turn it on.
But Shoei, I got good old chicken nuggies. Number 10. With Hurts, maybe you're a chicken sandwich. I don't know. But since you trade them away, just not that good anymore. Greg, I got the mini burgers. If Russ was playing like Russ did like last year or 10 years ago, you might be a real burger. Brennan. At number 8, I got Brennan nachos. Classic, but kind of got an old kind of look to it with Brady, and just kind of like just a classic like bullshit team. You know, go off the fan favorites and shit, team favorites or anything, and just make your team look good. Tank, I got a funnel cake for Tank. You know, you just got the funnel cake with the powder, but you got no toppings with it. You know, just can't be like that great, you know. And number 6, I got Mark. Philly cheesesteak, solid but kind of inconsistent. Does that count? Does that count? I don't know. Inconsistent.
Oh, I got a drink.
Okay. Number 5, I got Wade. Fried Oreos or fried Snickers. It's good and all, but sometimes your team just gives you a heart attack because they just don't produce anything. At number 4, I got Eric. Flamin' Cheetos corn on the cob. Yeah. You're undefeated. You know, the only team undefeated, but just something about that just is scary. It just doesn't like, it's just not good. It just doesn't sound good. He's just like a good team. Like, I don't know. Like, number 3, I got my mom, Michelle. Fried moon pies. I have her friend fried moon pies because it's a new thing. She's new to the league. Yeah.
What the fuck a fried moon pie is?
Fried moon pie. Shut up, man.
I'll be right there, Michelle.
At number 2, I got Graham. Turkey leg. You know, just like, he's got a good team, but that's just if everyone stays healthy, it might be all right. Number 1, I got Jensen. And at Jensen, I got Grandma Brown's cinnamon rolls. There's like 10 kinds of cinnamon rolls they do, just like his team. There's so many players that you could put out. And I feel like you're just going to... It's a good team, but I feel like you're just going to suck after that. But, yeah.
That was the Garrett segment. And we'll be right back after this break.